Hello everyone, welcome to Grow Your Future with Luxland. I'm Zar, CEO of Luxland Investments, and today we are joined by my usual suspects, Jade and Mark.
Hello. How are we?
Good evening.
Good evening. How are we all?
Hi everyone.
Hello
Thanks
everyone.
for joining us.
We have a special episode, don't we?
Well, we weren't here last week.
2 weeks.
Was it 2 weeks?
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks without fire.
We were flying the first week.
Yeah. And now we're
I
back.
can't believe it's been 2 weeks. I
We've
thought
read-
it was only 1 week.
We did read a couple of books on the plane, so
Yeah.
Right, so we're
got
back.
We're
2
still
weeks.
a bit
2
of
weeks
fire.
worth of catch up.
yeah,
We're pumped.
We're pumped.
We're
Yeah.
pumped.
so pumped.
We are. So, guys, what we're talking about today is your experience last week at GrowthCon, 10X GrowthCon, I should say, hosted by Grant Cardone. And if you guys don't know who that is, it's he's a massive property millionaire. Which obviously you guys will explain in further detail, but he's praised by the Americans over there, isn't he?
They love him.
He's the man of
They
the
love
hour.
him. So
yeah,
the reason why we weren't here was because we were in Vegas and we went to GrowthCon, which is a massive business conference of how many people? 10,000 people. 10,000 people went to this thing, like-minded people.
Yeah, it was
It's
amazing.
it was crazy. It's this.
Nothing
Just
we've
4
seen
days,
before.
3 days, three
Four
days,
4 days.
4 days of just fire, absolute fire. Now Grant Cardone, we talk about silent mentors all the time on this
Yep.
podcast, and
Yep.
he has got to be one of my favorite silent mentors because he's in real estate, he's raw, he's authentic, he's new age, like he's the real deal as well. Like the guy's worth almost $1 billion, right?
That's insane, yeah.
He's done so well, and man, he looks about 40 years old, and he's 58.
What's a small, like a very quick 1-2 minute recap on his background? How did he get to where he is?
Well, Grant Cardone, he comes from sales,
Yep.
right? So he was a junkie originally, and he was
Rehab.
yeah, he went to rehab, and he wanted to turn his life around. And when he was 25, and he turned to sales he was a used car salesman actually, and then he entered into sales training because he became so good at it, and then turned to real estate, and that's where I guess I get a lot of motivation from him from the real estate side of things. And now, like, he's massive on personal development. So the growth conference, like he had so many good speakers there, like so many good speakers from all over the world, you know. Some of the speakers that our listeners would recognize is Damon John,
Ty Lopez.
a lot of
Ed Milet.
a lot of guys who are really strong on the social media circuit now, and but overall it was just a really good experience for us because it's so different.
Yeah.
It was something that I've never experienced in my life, and I think I would describe it as, and I'm a pretty excited person as it is, but if I can think logically, like at all the experiences that I've had in my life, in my career, my personal life, getting married was the best experience of my life and the best day of my life. That conference that we went to last week was one of the best experiences. That was definitely up there.
Look, I've been to conferences before where like entrepreneurial conferences here, obviously property conferences, all of those sort of things. I mean, we went to one in Brisbane, Mark, which was quite exciting. Like we liked that, but it just doesn't compare. The Americans do it so well.
I felt like I was at a 50 Cent concert.
Well, we had
half
Flow
the time.
Rider. Flow Rider came. Flow Rider
came
came
out.
on the Friday, on the first day at 6 p.m. Flow Rider came out. It was just an awesome show. Like it was like what we like to call it edutainment. So it's education, but it's entertaining at the same time. So it's really attention grabbing. I don't know if that sort of stuff will work here in Australia because people will kind of tear that sort of stuff down and go, oh, what are you doing that for? And I mean, in America, they love that. They love the fireworks. They love the fire. They love the energy. Here, people just, it's so dry and vanilla, right? And you only tend to really attract the sort of prim and proper corporate dudes to these types of things where what we were finding at this particular conference is that was so diverse.
Yeah.
You had bodybuilders there, you had, guys in suits there, you had heaps of women there, people from all over the world. It was really exciting.
There was one really interesting story that I found. It just completely blew me away. a guy who was broke, and he was running a tattoo parlor in Idaho, I think, Boise, Idaho. And he's 5 years later, he's built his company up to his net worth is now $40 million just from that business.
Wow, it's incredible.
Like that, and I know it's a lucrative industry, but you just don't think that those numbers can be achieved, but they really can. So it was really motivating to be around those types of people. And we were we went to the conference, and we actually stayed at the event. It was at the Mandalay Bay.
Yep.
And so we stayed at the Mandalay Bay because obviously it was 12-hour days basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just convenient, but everyone was staying there as well. So you were just constantly 24/7 around these people.
You're immersed in it.
Yeah, you're going to the gym, the cardio center in the mornings, and there's just literally people running 20Ks on the treadmill.
5 a.m. This cardio center is packed. It's full because everyone is on.
Yeah, that's right.
It's amazing. You can't explain the environment. It's we operate like that at home and like that in every aspect of our life. But to be around people that you don't even know,
it's crazy.
It's amazing.
It's like for you listeners out there, the best way to describe it is that imagine Jade and I times 10,000. Or times 5,000, right? Because there's 10,000 people there.
Yeah.
Imagine people like us, but 10,000 of us.
Yeah.
So motivating.
And it's so good. Like it was like we didn't go out once in Vegas because we had all our energy was into this conference. It was just 12 hours of fire, and there was so much knowledge that we took away from it. And I think the biggest thing that I took away from it is that don't ever put a cap on your sort of belief system.
Yep.
Never limit your beliefs. Like you can do whatever you want. Here in Australia, I really feel that everyone's putting caps on each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Oh, you want to take over this industry. Bah, you can't do that. No, there's no way you're going to do that. How's that bloke going to do it, right? And then everyone just puts these caps on each other, and what happens is that we condition ourselves to think that we're only limited to, doing only small things or average things. And the thing is, because we live in the best country in the world, being average is actually not that bad. You can live a good life being average, right? Like I know so many people that have told me in the past, Zah, like why do you push yourself so hard? Like you've done so well already. Why do you keep driving to be rich, or why do you keep driving to have more? And it's really frustrating because all I want to do is do the right thing by my family, do the right thing by my network, and just keep growing because number one, I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. But number two, it's not just about being rich. For me, it's more so that I don't want to feel the pain of having no money again.
Yep.
Because I've been through that. I've been through that pain, and knowing that pain could be around the corner at any time drives me to just go hard. Right? And Grant Cardone's got a really good saying, and he said it at the conference, and he said, people who strive to be great and to succeed and have money are perceived to be selfish because all they think about is money. But really, being poor and living in poverty is even more selfish because you can only look after yourself. If I'm rich, I can look after all of those around me. I had a friend the other day who came to me and he said, Zah, like my business needs a bit of money, right? Otherwise, like I'm gonna go bankrupt. I'm gonna need a little bit of money to keep it afloat. I was able to give him some money, right? It wasn't that much, but I was able to keep him going, right? If I didn't have money, right, and I'm not the richest bloke like in town, if I didn't have that wealth to share, I could only help myself.
Exactly.
So you're actually being very, very selfish by staying average or by staying poor because you can't help others.
That's right. Yeah,
I agree.
That's very well put actually, because it's a lot of people will hear that and go, oh, how's that so? But the way you've explained it, and it's the way that you utilise that money, that wealth. You could be greedy and go, no, it's all mine. But in your instance, you're a giving person. You want everyone around you. Both of you guys are very.
Look, we're at an age now where you don't know what's going to happen to your parents.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I want to make sure that I've got enough wealth to look after my parents.
Yep.
Right? Because they looked after me for the good part of 30 years or whatever it is. right? Like I want to be able to look after them. Jade's parents are also my parents, right? Like I need to be able to look after them. If I was poor, right, or if I had the poor mindset or the broke mindset, I'd be struggling to look after myself.
That's right.
Right? So it's really important that, because what's happening is that the middle class is getting squeezed out to the lower class, and to the wealth gap is getting really, really, a lot bigger than what it is. And as time goes on, that will stretch out. And what's going to happen is that you're going to have people who are really going to be poverty stricken, or you're going to have the wealthy, which are literally going to be the top 5% of the nation, controlling everything, right? Yeah. But the thing is, we're all capable of getting some of that wealth. And that's what the conference was all about, right, Jade? It was all about being able to tap into that wealth. What is your potential, right? What can you do? Who is your network? How resourceful can you be, right? These guys are telling us stories. They've all come from nothing.
Yep.
Literally everyone.
All of them.
Literally every one of them have come from nothing, and they're worth millions. We're not talking like, 5, 10, 15 million. Like these guys are hundreds of millions of dollars, and these guys are they're young. Like Brad Lee, he's young.
Brad Lee's
like
probably
40.
in his 40s. Yeah,
early 40s.
He's got a very young family.
Very inspirational. But you know what? It took him 15 years to get that company to where it is today.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, his company's virtual training.
Lightspeed VT.
Yeah, it's
like virtual training.
Yeah, virtual training business, right?
But it's blown up.
This guy turns over, right? He makes in his pocket 50 mil a year.
Wow.
Right. However, it's taken him 15 years to crack that.
Yeah.
Took him 11 or 12 years before he started making good money.
I think it changed going to GrowthCon for the very first time. I know it was only the second GrowthCon, and I certainly don't. If I can control it, I don't want to miss a GrowthCon ever. I think being around these people and listening to these people definitely taught me that, you can. There's a cap, I guess, I don't want to slander this country too much, but there's a little bit of a cap. You're kind of being, just sit there and it's okay. Don't do too much. You can't do this. You can't expose yourself too much. When going over there was great because they're like, why not? You have to go all in. One of the speakers in particular that I want to talk about was Tim Story, who was very dramatic speaker. It was incredible.
Yeah, he cried like a baby.
He was really good, but he was talking about, he said you can't go back to the smoke once you've gone out and played with fire. So you can't do that. So make a decision. Are you going to go out there? If you're going to go out there, you can never come back to the smoke. Never, ever again.
And it's all about making that decision, right? Like if you've made that decision, so a lot of people, I find that I come across them in business, right? They're half in, half out. They'll go, I want to give it a go. I want to dabble, right? I want to dabble just so I can see how it goes, right? No. You can't dabble. You got to go all in.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Go all in. And you know what? If you fail, get back up again and go all in again.
That's right.
Right? Because the experience that you get from going all in, the risk that you take, I think that was one of the biggest things that Brad Lee was talking about, is like taking risk. Like not taking risk as in like, let's invest 10 grand or let's invest 100 grand. No, that's like, we're talking about leave your job, right? Leave that security, go all in with your funds and give it a good crack. How many people are going to do that? Not many, right? And that's what separates the losers from the winners, right? And it's plain and simple. The bigger the risk, the bigger the adversity, the bigger the failures, the bigger the lessons, right? And the stronger you become.
Who was, I have a feeling I might know who it is, but who was your favourite speaker at GrowthCon?
Look, so the first day we had obviously Grant Cardone came on.
The first day was called the $1 Billion Sales Summit.
Yeah, so they split the 3 days up, right? The first day you had Grant Cardone was on every day, right? Because he's the promoter. He runs the show. Ed Milet came on, and oh my God, this guy gave us literally an hour and a half of just super high energy, like how I'm talking now times 10 for an hour and a half. Like I don't know where this guy gets the energy from. He's 46 years old, right? He's built like a pro bodybuilder. Like, the guy is a machine, and he has so much knowledge. Ed Milet owns World Financial Group, which is basically a financial planning company, and
billions of dollars.
He's worth probably 400 or 500 mil. Like, he's crazy successful, but just the fire that he brought to the stage for 1.5 hours, it was just energy after energy after energy, and it was just like, oh my God, it moved me.
Yeah.
Like, I was moved by this speaker, right? And then I guess, so he was my favourite one for the first day. The second day was about marketing, and that's when Ty Lopez came out.
He was great.
Ty Lopez was great.
Yeah.
I loved Ty Lopez. He actually, I'm not the biggest fan of watching his videos because they go for so long.
Yeah.
He was really good.
And I don't have that much time to watch it, but I really enjoyed Ty Lopez, and there was a lot of selling in between Ty Lopez. There was like, they were trying to sell courses and all of that sort of stuff, which was interesting for us because we need the education on the business and all of that sort of thing. But one person who really, really surprised me, and I was so happy that I sat through it, was Elena Cardone, Grant Cardone's wife.
Okay, yep.
She was, I mean, I'll let Jade talk about Elena.
Oh, she was my
Jade's
favourite.
Yeah.
She was my favourite, and she came on last, and I was eager. Like, I really wanted to. I personally have connected to Elena on social media, and she just really resonates with me anyway, as it is. Before I even got to hear her speak, but she came on at the very last minute, didn't she? And on the third day.
Towards the end.
Yeah, and she.
And we were all like this on the last.
Yeah, so we were like, just get it over with. But she moved me so much. Like, it was life-changing hearing her speak. She, I think...
I was getting emotional. Like,
Yeah.
when she was speaking, because I could feel and resonate so much with what she was saying, because I know what she's going through, because I lived through that with Jade, right? I was actually getting emotional. I was getting moved by what she was saying. Sorry to interrupt you, Jade.
No, that's okay. I was too, and I think everything that she was saying resonates with my life and my life living with you. And she was talking about how, and she's just got so much energy as well, and she's just so passionate about her life and what she has built. And she came on. She's very candid. She came on stage. Grant's been speaking 3 days straight, right? He's been, lapping up.
He's lost his voice.
Did he?
Yeah, he's lost his voice. Yeah.
He's been lapping up the crowd and all of that. People are clapping him, standing ovations every day. She comes on stage and she's like, I just want to let y'all know that this whole thing was because of me.
Yeah.
Like, all
And
of
the crowd went nuts.
Yeah, and she's like, Cardone Capital was me. Cardone Enterprises is me. It's not him. He just gets to come on stage and he just gets to, like, thanks guys, I did all this. She's like, this is what I do.
Has she got a lot of business background?
It's been her and Grant.
She's an actress by trade, like originally, and I think that's how they met. But she has just taken on the reins as basically
his wife,
his right-hand woman.
Man.
You know what I mean? So, like, she does.
She's
a lot of the things that she does, to be honest with you, reminds me so much of what Jade does.
Yeah.
And it's just, you need that support, especially when you're running, multiple businesses, and you've got, lots of money at stake. You've got sharks out there who want to take advantage of you. And everything that she said, I was just like, I know what Jade is feeling next to me. She's feeling like, this is my life.
I got goosebumps. She was talking about, we've been cheated, we've been lied to, we've been,
betrayed,
people have stolen, we've been sued, we've been all of this stuff. And she's like, but you do it together. And she made a decision many years ago to back Grant, whatever he wants to do. She's like, I'm here, I'm doing this with you, and I'm your wife. And she it was very emotional. She was like, whatever that man wants to do, I'm going to dream it for him, and I'm going to make it happen for him because I love him. And just like, she's created this amazing family dynamic, and she's she makes it happen. She enables Grant to be able to go out there and succeed and build the empire that he needs to build.
Yep. Well, he can go and do the bigger deals. So he's talking like we're talking about $100 million deals. Like he can go and just concentrate on that. So he can focus on the bigger picture, and that's what I guess what we're trying to tell our listeners is that a lot of these qualities that we're describing from these speakers, like you can take away as well and implement them into your life and into your business. And I guess the way that Jade and I work are very similar to Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone, where, you know, Jade looks after a lot of the different sort of behind the scenes things, right? And it's not, obviously I can't do everything on my own, and I credit Jade for so much of my success or our success. And that by having her there, being able to do all of those things, I'm able to go and work the bigger deals, you know, like do the bigger developments, you know, start making bigger dollars for our clients, right? Because that's all big picture stuff.
Of course, yeah.
And, you know, it's easy to get caught up in so many different things on the day-to-day sort of running of things. And, you know, we have, Jade and I have purposely upskilled ourselves in separate areas of business so we complement each other.
Yep.
Because there's no use of having a really good salesman and a really good salesman. There's no point, right? You know, Jade's great at HR and dealing with people. I'm great at sales and getting the business. So we really complement each other. And it was fantastic to see, you know, another couple who are extremely successful.
Probably like further down the track than what we currently are.
100%. They are the pinnacle of the power couple. You know how people
we're like their children.
You know how people go power couple and all that sort of, you know, like say David Beckham and Victoria Beckham. It's a bit of a different sort of dynamic because he's actually a sports star.
That's right.
So it's a bit different. He's worked hard to get to where and build his brand.
So is she,
and so is she. She's a Spice Girl. It's a bit of a different sort of dynamic. But for Grant and Elena, they've come from nothing. They've started from nothing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They've started from nothing. Property has been his vehicle. He's about to hit $1 billion, right? And it's so motivating and inspiring. And, you know, we can take a lot away from these guys because, you know, they've been there, done that.
That's right.
They've been through the adversities. As Jade said, you know, they've been ridiculed, they've been betrayed, they've been robbed, you know, you name it, they've been through the adversity, you know.
I think there was one particular thing that I remember her saying, and she was telling a story with the 2006 global financial crisis. They were watching TV in their lounge room one night and she was pregnant, and she's like, what's all this mean? It was like the collapse of the banks, right?
Lehman Brothers.
Lehman Brothers.
Lehman Brothers.
Yeah, so she's like, what does this mean? And he said, we're going to fucking die. That's what he said to her. And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, we're going to die. And she goes, you go in there and fucking fix this.
Wow.
And don't come out of your office until you fix this for us. And he went in there and he wrote a book, or he wrote a few chapters of something, or whatever
Sell
he
or
did.
Be Sold. He wrote Sell or
Yep.
Be Sold, which is a famous sales book.
Was this the one before 10X?
Yeah, this one was
is
the
like
first
that
one. This one is
long
the
time ago.
first
Yeah,
one.
yeah. And he came out and he's like, baby, I'm so sorry. I will never say that to you again. We're not going to die. We're going to make it. And like, so it was just beautiful. Like, I think...
It's the
like
story.
I said, it resonates with me, my life and what I go through, and there are so many beautiful moments to the life that she goes through.
We've been through struggles as well, right? We've been through many adversities where our wealth has gone up like this and it's gone down like this, gone up like this, gone down like this. We've been ripped off by business partners, we've been betrayed, we've been ridiculed, we've been... everything, all of those things that they said, it's happened to us, probably obviously on a smaller scale, but it's all happened to us, and that's why we could resonate with it. Like, we've been in business for, you know, almost 10 years now.
Yep.
So it's a fair bit of experience to go, you know what, like, I feel what these people are saying. Like, a lot of people I guess a lot of people there probably didn't even connect with it because they haven't been through it themselves. There were a lot of young people there. There were actually kids there. So, you know, like, it was just perfect timing for us to go to that. Like, I think if I went to it about 3 or 4 years ago, I wouldn't have got it.
Yep.
I would have gone there and gone, oh yeah, this is great. You know, it's a pretty good show, and I'm leaving quite motivated and inspired. But I really do believe everything happens for a reason. We've gone at the right time where we could utilize all of this knowledge. Number one, we resonated with a lot of the information that they were giving us, but the knowledge that we could take away and now apply to our businesses through our, our staff and our clients, and, expanding our networks and expanding our businesses, like being able to think bigger and be able to believe that we can do whatever we want. Now that's amazing. That's a lifetime worth of value. That you can't put a price on that. Right? You can't. That's something that we take away for the rest of our lives. Like, let's say the trip cost us 10-15 grand in total, including tickets and all, and accommodation and all of that sort of thing. Like, people balk at that. They go, "Oh, it's a lot of money for education and all of that sort of thing." But you can keep that for the rest of your life. People spend 15 grand on going overseas to Europe or whatever it is. They can't get that money back. No. Yeah, they've got the memories. Great. Like, we go on holidays all the time as well. But when you think about it, people spend more time thinking about the destination that they're going to go and holiday at than they do on their own self, like their own self-worth. Like, they're an asset themselves. Like, I get people all the time saying, "Zah, I've got 10 grand. I want to invest it." I go, "Okay, well, is it your only 10 grand? And they go, "Yeah, it's my first 10 grand I've ever saved." And I say, "Well, invest it in yourself."
That's right.
Go and, invest in education, invest in a course, learn more, because once you spend that money, obviously it's gone. But the knowledge that you can take away from it is amazing. It's a lifetime worth of knowledge. And I truly believe that the Growth Conference, I got more than $15,000 worth of knowledge from. I can take that now and apply it to all of my businesses and make that tenfold throughout all of them.
100% agree.
I have a note here that Hank Norman was your favourite speaker.
There's always you take the good with the bad, right? And there's always a negative experience in all positive experiences. That was my negative.
Was it? What was negative about it?
He screamed.
We actually
screamed
walked
at
out.
us.
What does he do? What does Hank Norman do?
He specialises in personal branding, I think.
Yep.
Personal branding or celebrity branding or something like that. But his delivery was just... Look, I'm sure people watching this live now think that maybe I'm a little bit annoying because I get like a little bit fired up and I talk too much. I don't allow these guys to talk that much and all of that sort of thing, right? But this guy, it was just on another level. He was screaming to the point where it was hurting my ears, right? But anyway, we're all about positivity here. We want to move on from the negativity.
The only other negative part was it was a lot. There were long days. We do long days here every day where we're backing up 12-hour days.
Mark's usually out of here by 4 p.m. But yeah, we do long days.
That's a lie, guys.
That is a lie.
But it was literally concentration. Was like there was no. We got there, which is really interesting. And I'm like, well, we are at GrowthCon. We're at 10. You've got a 10x everything. There was no lunch. There was no dedicated lunch break.
Oh, they just go all the way through.
They just keep going.
These guys
so
are machines.
You kind of like, okay, so I have to eat before dinner. So what do we do? Like, you literally have to pick the person that you least want to that you least want to listen to, or at the point in time where you feel like you're going to pass out from no food, and go and eat. That's how crazy it was.
I remember we were at lunch, right, and we've forgotten to talk about someone very, very important. And we were at lunch and we're like, we don't want to miss this speaker. We don't want to miss this speaker. And it was Damon John. Oh, wow. So you guys listening out there today, you'll know Damon John. Everybody knows Damon John.
Mr. Fubu.
Well, he's the guy on Shark Tank. So I think everyone will probably know him through Shark Tank, right? But this guy turned nothing into a $6 billion company, which is Fubu.
And is that Fubu in Australia is quite.
I don't even know where to buy Fubu.
We couldn't find it in America.
We were trying to find it in America only because we were like, we're a massive fan of Fubu now, right? But
we couldn't find it. It's got to be somewhere.
We love his story. He's got a great book. So if you guys out there listening, his book, The Power of Broke, is it's a cracker book because it tells his story of how he grew up with nothing and he started from nothing and he just sold these hats and t-shirts and all of that sort of thing. basically what you did back in the day, but built it
Yep.
into this $6 billion company,
Wow.
right? And look, I don't even know where to buy FUBU from, and you know, I only remember it from back in the day where you actually could buy it at the market, so I don't even know if it was real. But you know, like that achievement alone. So he's doing a lot of mentoring now.
Yep.
Him as a speaker, I didn't really enjoy. It was more of an interview with Grant and Damon, but his story is it tells a lot. I know his story as well, and it's amazing. So even just seeing him, I wanted to line up for I don't ever line up for photos or anything like that, but I actually wanted to line up for a photo with him because he was selling books. He's got a new book out at the moment, and I wanted to buy the book and get it signed by him, and they actually ran out of books.
Wow.
Yeah, so we couldn't line up. So it was. Look, that American market over there, they lap that up. They love it. Over here, people will be very skeptical and go, "Oh, why would I need to go to that? I already know what I'm doing." You know what I mean? And it's kind of sad that you know our market's like that because these guys they don't promote towards out here. They don't need to because they're like, well, if you guys are going to kind of turn your nose up at us, then. You know, I think the entourage is giving it a good crack. I've been to a couple of their seminars and conferences. They're doing quite well at entertaining the entrepreneurial crowd here. Yep. Which I think they've got a convention coming up in the next couple of weeks that we'll probably attend. But yeah, it's a different market over there.
I think another speaker worth talking about tonight is Tim Grover, who was.
I forgot about amazing. Tim Grover.
He was someone that I'll never forget listening to. He
the crowd
is
loved him too.
Tim Grover. If you guys don't, for our listeners out there who don't know who Tim Grover is, Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's and Kobe Bryant's trainer for over 15 years. Wow. So he
quite old now. Is that right?
He's 4 months younger than Michael Jordan. He owns a company called Attack Athletics. So he's obviously, so he specialises, he coaches and conditions NBA stars, and he's obviously specialises in kinesiology as well, so like, you know, the energy and all of that stuff. He was amazing. He was such a powerful speaker. He was on the third day, wasn't he? He was good, and he spoke about... I probably wouldn't say that he was just a bit different to everyone else. He talked about his story a little bit, but he's a bit of a G-up, and he talks about how, you know, he comes out on stage and he's like, you guys aren't going to do shit this year. You guys aren't going to do anything. You're going to be all pumped up for this conference, and then you're going to go out there and you're going to go out and party, and you're going to go back and do the same shit that you've always done for the next 20 years. Like, wow. He was like in your face kind of thing, and that's you're like, no, I'm not, you know? Yeah. So he was really good to listen to. There are a lot of other people that I took a lot of value out of. There was one guy called Naveen Jain. I don't know if you know who he is.
I don't know, and I don't have the listeners to
look. I'm going to skip Naveen Jain because I actually missed out on half of his talk, so I don't really know what he was talking about. But I'm going to go back to Tim Grover because I think he deserves a little bit more time. This bloke, if you guys watching and listening out there tonight, right, look him up, Tim Grover. Like, he is a machine, and he's so raw. And what made him very special is that he was one of the last people on the third day. So it really woke us up. You know, they timed
just before Elena cut him.
They timed everything really, really well because, you know, as you start kind of dozing off and, you know, start thinking about what you're going to do that night. This bloke comes on and he's just raw as right. He does not care, but it's real. Like it's so real. Like he got like let's think. Does anyone have any money in their pocket?
I don't know.
No?
Well, let's pretend this is a $100 bill, right? So he asked the crowd, can I have a $100 bill, right? Someone chucks him a $100 bill. So he's got it here. Let's pretend this is a $100 bill, right? And he goes like this. Oh, no, first of all, he goes, who wants this $100 bill, right? And everyone puts their hand up. There are actually people running up trying to get this $100. He's like,
security
relax.
had to get.
He's like, relax, right? Then he goes like this. He goes, who wants this $100 bill? And everyone puts their hand up. Same amount of people. Then he does this. Who wants it now? Everyone puts their hand up. His analogy is, That's you. That's you. The value is still the same. The value hasn't diminished.
Yeah.
So why is it when you fail, you feel like your value has diminished?
It's incredible.
It was still the same.
Yeah.
That's still going to be worth $100.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful analogy because
he got a standing ovation, and I think the rapper,
Yep.
came on the speakers. I don't know, it must have been staged, and we were just like, the energy was just amazing.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And look, I know a lot of people who would really benefit from this conference. Like we've got some really close friends who are big on personal development and business growth, and they would love this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like Chris Morrison, for example, he would love this, you know. We've got to get him to this for the next one. We've got to push him to go.
I think we're certainly going to the next one, wherever it is. I don't think they have released the location yet, but it'll be this year.
We'd love to go with you guys. Like if anyone
you guys
wants to go,
come with us, send us a DM, send Zara a DM, myself, Mark.
We all want to go.
We
all want to
We're
go.
on our
If we
way.
can go as a group, like, and really sort of represent Australia over there, that'll be so fun. And you'll take so much value away from it.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's an amazing experience. It's
Yeah.
One
amazing.
thing I wanted to ask you guys as well is a name on that list there.
Oh, you can have that back, by the way. It's worth the same amount.
Gary Cardone, obviously, is that Grant's brother?
So funny.
Twin brother.
We
yeah.
were
They look
sitting
exactly the same.
5:30 a.m. one morning. Every morning, Zara and I would go to get a double shot espresso because it was 5:30, and
Which we get up anyway at 5:30, so it's not. It's
But it was
nothing
Vegas.
different. It's nothing different.
but the coffee's not as good over there, so it was kind of like, yeah, just a double shot, thanks. Gary Cardone was standing there getting 4 shots in his espresso.
Did you first think
4
it was
shots.
Grant?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. 'Cause
He
they
looks the
look
same. They look the same.
Yeah.
He was surprisingly good.
Yeah, so he
What's
spoke.
his role? Yeah, what does he do? Does he work within
Actually,
Cardone?
He owns a
Or-
company called Chargebacks 911 or something. He's got a different company, but he does.
It's global.
Yeah.
Like it's big. Like it's not small. And
And
look,
did he start off before Grant or after?
I don't know the story. I
They're
can't
twin
remember the story.
brothers.
But I think he came from a pretty bad background as well, of gambling, alcohol, drugs, all of that sort of thing, and turned his life around as well. So obviously Grant Cardone has, you know, given him a good push as well. They're very close. They're very, very close. So it's beautiful to watch that brotherly interaction in terms of business, because I actually don't have that with my brother. I wish I did, because that's something that you can't break.
Yeah,
you know, and you can see that they're 58 years old.
Yeah.
Right, these guys are 58 years old. They're going strong. You know, the brotherly love is so strong. The business connection is even stronger. It's great. It's beautiful to watch.
Gary Cardone gets on stage. So I just have to explain this to you guys. You'll probably be able to see it on YouTube eventually down the track. But GrowthCon's about to start. So we're walking into the conference center and, you know, trying to find our seats. And this like high energy, like music comes on. It was just the atmosphere was like a concert, right? Like a 50 Cent concert or something. And Grant Cardone descends from the ceiling on this platform. From the ceiling, he's coming down.
Sure.
And we were just like, that's insane, right? It was the effort that they went into producing this conference was insane.
It was over the top.
But then-
but you know what? That's him. That's his brand.
Gary Cardone gets on stage and he's like, really? Like, is that necessary? It's like fucking ridiculous, right? Like, so it was quite funny. They've got that banter going on. He's like, did he really need to descend? Grant Cardone gets on the 3rd day and he's like, did I really need to descend from the ceiling? Yeah, like, why not? You know, he said it a lot. People accuse me of being over the top and just too much in life. Well, the reason why I came from the ceiling is because I want to prove to people that, yeah, I am too much and I am over the top. Like, so what do you want to say about that? And it just made me think about different cultures and experiences here as well. And I think that they're very similar.
Well, if you're over the top here, then you're looked at as, you know, calm down, settle down, keep a low profile, just keep to yourself. Like what Jade said earlier in the podcast, she goes, you know, you just stay there, limit yourself, and just, you know, you just plod along and be average. And what he's trying to say is, no. Break through that barrier. Break through the barrier, get attention, be loud, right? Not be arrogant, but be confident.
Yep.
Sell yourself and get everybody to know you. Because it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So the more people that know you, the better it is going to be for you. Not how many people that you know.
Yep.
And that's what people get confused with. They think, like it's just about them. It's about them. No. It's about getting as many eyeballs on you as possible, getting as much attention. Like I was very, very private. Like I was never on social media over 12 months ago, and I didn't want to do it. I was very private. But as soon as I went on social media, my businesses have gone through the roof because everybody knows who I am. Yep. Yeah, I've collected a fair few haters along the way, but those guys are the guys that fuel. Yeah, they fuel the fire. Like I'm only going to get bigger. What these haters? What they think that I'm going to just roll over and die and go, oh, you hate what I'm doing? No, it's actually, I'm going to prove you wrong. Right?
Definitely.
I'm going to prove you wrong. And I know like you guys have your haters as well that you want to prove wrong. And I'm proving them wrong every single day. Right? Every single day I'm working on myself. I'm improving myself. And there are so many people out there that will look at us and go, why would you spend 10 or 15 grand on an educational program or something like that? What a waste of money. I could have put it into my business. Or I could have bought this with it or whatever it is, right? But at the end of the day, it's because you're jealous that you don't have the knowledge up here. So, being loud and getting attention is not a bad thing, right? It's a great thing. It's a great thing for business as long as you're doing the right thing. If you're doing the right thing, right, you're being ethical. You're doing the right thing by your clients. You're doing the right thing by your audience. You can be as loud as you want.
That's right.
Doesn't matter. Have the ego. Have the confidence. Be loud. Get the attention. You're doing the right thing. You're helping people. Right? If you're doing the bad thing, then hide in the corner. Right? Hide in the corner and hope you don't get caught with what you're doing. Right? But if you're doing a good thing, tell the world.
That's right. Yeah.
Tell the world about it.
I love that, and I think that's going to pretty much wrap us up now.
I could talk about GrowthCon all night. Yeah. So if anyone wants to talk about GrowthCon,
we might have to do a 3-part series.
I'm hungry, so I think we should drop the mic.
Yeah. No, but that was awesome. At least that gave us a really good insight into GrowthCon, because obviously there's a lot of us that listen in on Grow Your Future, as well as know about Grant Cardone and stuff like that, and we wouldn't have been able to go there.
It's all about growth, right? So that's what this podcast is about. This podcast is about personal development. And it's not just about building a property portfolio or anything like that. Even though this is attached to Luxland, because property and personal development go hand in hand, and it's a lot of it is about mindset. So
I think exactly, and I think that it's every week, and it's something that we've drawn from GrowthCon. That we've gone to GrowthCon, we've drawn from that, and we're bringing more value to you guys. So that was the whole plan.
Look, next week we're going to start having guests again on. So that's going to be really, really exciting. So we're going to have some fresh new stories for you. And, you probably had enough of my voice and probably want to see some new faces. So we're going to organise those guys for you.
Yeah, we'll have that sorted. Well, guys, look, thank you very much again for listening in. Don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends about it to subscribe as well.
Tell your friends about me.
Yes. Tell your friends to tell a friend. So if you have any questions, please send them through info@luxland.com.au, or you can hit us up on any of our Instagrams, LinkedIn's, Facebooks, whatever it might be. We're all on all social platforms. So come and find us. And until next week, guys, we'll speak to you then.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.